G'day team, what's up? We're just here with Shaun from the Egg Vance, and today we're going to be just following on from last week's video where we talked about the benefits that we've had with the Optiprill. And I suppose it's always a niggly thing to talk about when it comes to the delivery side of things. So it's cool for us to stand here and pass on information for you, but for you guys to actually put it into play like I have this year, it's probably just give you a bit more confidence about how easy it is that process is to do. So literally, guys, it was I suppose being me and a farmer, it's cool to learn stuff, but to go and then set up, like trying to get the Optiprill, which is this little prill, and try and get it into my feed, and I sort of don't know where the feed comes from and all that sort of stuff, can be quite challenging, but it's actually not. It's actually a really simple system. So for those of us, obviously I'm down here in Southland, for those people that are watching up in Northland and up around Waikato and that, is there a mill up there? Or?
Yep, so we produce it in the Waikato, and we produce, so that's for all the North Island, and the South Island we produce in Rolleston, so we've got a plant at both ends.
Right.
Yeah, so it keeps it nice and easy.
Doesn't matter where they live?
No.
Working.
So we generally send it out in half-ton bulk bags, but we can do 25s and bigger bulk bags as well. Just depends what the requirements are.
The process for me, and we'll talk a little bit about it, different ways of getting it out on farm, was I sort of, come across the product, got in touch with Shaun and, asked him, what the process is. He asked me who supplies our palm kernel and corn gluten. And so ADM supply our feeds from, it sort of gets shipped into Bluff down here, and then the product gets picked up by Royal Bush and delivered, and the process was just as easy as communicating between ADM and the ladies up in Tauranga and getting in touch with Shaun, and then the product was delivered down there and it turns up on farm, and it was like, honestly, it's so super simple. And then when we order our next load, it's already loaded in, and the process is piece of piss. Like, it's ridiculously easy. I don't know why I haven't done it earlier, to be honest. I think we definitely could have put a bit more milk in the vat over the last 5 years, and probably saved a few more cows with metabolic issues. So just with that process, mate, like what other ways are there to get the product here, or is that the only way?
There's quite a few ways. Your way is definitely one of the more simple ways.
It was simple.
we literally just package it up, send it to ADM or send it to your feed company. They blend it and send it out, and so it doesn't. The product doesn't pass through your hands at all. It's definitely easy. Other ways, and probably the most common way, is through a mineral dosing bin.
Oh yeah.
So the biggest difference there is a little bit more complicated because you have to dose or load the bin and adjust the dose, but it gives you a lot more control.
Yeah.
And so a mineral dosing bin either sits next to the silo, just above the feed delivery tube.
Does it fall in, does it?
Yeah, so the bin sits there. It's you load it every couple of days. It only holds a couple of 100 kilos, but it has a variable speed drive. So we get those bins from McMaster's Engineering. They do, Garth down there does a really good job of those. Yeah. Which I'll show you one at some stage. And the beauty of that is if you want to take your feed from 1 kilo to 2 kilos to 3 kilos within a week or whatever, you don't have to wait till your next. That's right. You don't have to wait till your next load of feed. You can just turn the dispenser down or up based on what you're feeding. So that's one of the major ways of getting it in. Some guys are feeding it through mixer wagons and that sort of thing as well. And sometimes mixing silos as well. So a lot of guys will have a grain silo, a PK silo, and the grain silo will go through a grinder up into a day silo. And then the day silo will have a central mixing auger in it, and that works really well. You can put your Optiprill up the auger into there and mix it as well. So the mineral dosing bins are easy. If for the bigger farms, they'll use a much larger mineral dosing bin. And some of those can actually be set up so the dosing part of the bin is actually right above the feed head. So it's very accurate. And then you have a 1 ton silo outside that feeds that small dosing bin straight in. That's right. And so you can load a ton at a time. And that might last you a couple of weeks. So, so it's just a lot easier. But those setups are obviously a lot more expensive. But but and McMaster's Engineering do those as well, and they do a really good job.
Yep.
And so so they're the major ways of getting it in. And I guess the idea is to keep it simple and keep it consistent so that you're not feeding minerals one day and not another, and it's just another job that you don't really want to have to worry about at that time of the year, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, because I suppose because we've got mixed feed, guys. So we're feeding palm kernel and corn gluten at the moment, and so we're feeding 2/3 palm kernel, 1/3 corn gluten. And I was trying to figure out, it's quite easy to get, if you're not really a numbers man, to get stumble on the percentage thing. But it is actually really easy. So we've got a 12-ton silo here. We're currently getting about 7 ton of palm kernel come in, and just over 3 ton of corn gluten coming in as well. And then you guys are just topping up with 10%. Is that right?
Yeah. So I think from memory it's about 650 kilos of the prill goes into each load.
Yeah. And it's done, and it turns up here, and the cows are smashing it, and we just order a couple of days in advance, and the process is really easy. So for those of us that that are interested to get in touch with yourself or one of your team, do you guys deliver just down here in Southland, or are you guys delivering nationwide in New Zealand?
Yeah, we make it right throughout the country, so we can deliver anywhere. That's no trouble. Yeah,
have you thought about delivering to Ireland and in the UK?
Maybe. One day.
Yeah, cool.
It's a long way to ship.
Guys, it's been a huge benefit us getting this in here. It's been easy process, like way easier than I thought. If I'd done it earlier, as I was saying earlier, I would have benefited on a lot more milk in the vat and a few less cows going down with metabolic issues. So if you guys want to check it out, head on over to Shaun's page there at Agvance, and then they can help you out with any info that you've got or any questions. But next week we're going to be talking about some hot topics, so look forward to seeing you guys then. Sure.